What is up? It is Andy, and I'm coming to you with some Thursday NFL and NHL sniffs. We're going to do a little bit differently today. Normally, I open up with the NFL sniffs. Today, I'm going to open up with the NHL sniffs. And maybe I did this to myself when I used my Gargoyles California beach hockey background there. Because the same day I used that as a background, you know what happened? You know who I saw? Gargoyles. And by the way, anybody who was around last year, there was one episode of the show where I went on like a legendary Michael Rappaport rant going off on the Orcs. And then later that day, I realized like I received these super thanks on YouTube, which I didn't even know was available. People just like tipped me $5, which I don't even know that I liked. I felt like a girl-jester. Where it's like, oh, Handy, we liked you doing that. Here's $5. Kind of like some chatterbait cam girl. You don't have to tip me anything when I go on a rant, but if you do seem to like them, you're going to enjoy it because I got another one for you today. Now, typically, how do I open up or end some of these videos? I ask you guys, hey, do me a favor, engage with the videos, do that. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So I thought the only thing that was right to do, you know, if these people are engaging, which they have been, and the channel's been growing, let me go down there. Let me see if they have any questions. Let me engage with some of the kind people who enjoy this show. And there were indeed some people had some nice, pleasant transactions. And I helped somebody who needed some help. Like somebody commented, Andy, I saw with the Zaka assist with the Pasternak over 1.5 points. Why would you use an assist? Because I did the Zaka point with the over 1.5 points for David Pasternak, and the price didn't change that much, to which I responded, you actually are correct because that's sportsbook dependent. If you're on Bet365 or you're on Hard Rock Bet, you are correct. You should have just done the point. But the overwhelming majority of people, especially in the US, they don't have access to those sportsbooks. And that person obviously had one of those two sportsbooks, and that's why they were wondering why. Most people, they use Draftkings, so I tend to skew my bet suggestions based on the rusty Draftkings prices. Draftkings has somewhat neutered prices, and I understand that's what the majority of you people are forced to deal with, so that's why I tend to present in Draftkings odds. I'm fully aware there are better odds, but I do know the majority of you have to use Draftkings when it comes to some of these line mate point parlay props, which I'm just about to get into for a second. But the problem with me going down there and trying to exchange pleasantries with you, it's just like, as I'm going down the escalator, every once in a while, who do I see to my left? A gargoyle. A disgusting gargoyle with the classic gargoyle remarks. Does it ever end? Did you see this guy's pick 2 days ago? I mean, despite the fact he told you never to bet a lot during the early part of the season, are we really doing this? Why don't you take from the $30,000 play that I ended last year with and lose some of that? Are you really going to count nickels on week 1 and 2? You rotten, dirty rat bastard. It's unbelievable because when I give out sniffs to you guys, it's not like the NFL sniffs where I had a point to prove. You can be a profitable bettor, and I tried to be very selective. I'd be very strategic about what I gave out. Here, it's very different. I'm trying to formulate a betting style that you guys are familiar with so that you can actually flourish on your own as the season progresses. But you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to wake up with your beer gut, shake the potato chips off your chest hair, and come here and have me put money into your pockets. If you teach a man to sniff, you feed him for life. You want that daily sniff. You want me to hand you your food like the slob that you are. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you, especially if you're a hockey fan, figure out what the good bets are to do. So that's why I give out some line mate point parlays. Here's the problem. I only give 1 or 2 because I can't give you this whole litany of them. But the right thing to do is blast the entire assortment on the nightly slate. I'm so happy he did this, and you should go check out his Twitter page. Always check out his videos. But Josh actually wrote the list of all line mates, all combinations of them on the slate 2 nights ago, and then it ended up winning over 10 units. You do that over time. I'm telling you, trust me, I know the other sports, it's a borderline glitch. I'm whispering like the sports books are listening. If this was the NFL, they would not allow you to do Look, I'm even talking lower. They would not allow you to do these line made point parlays. You should be taking every single one on every single night. That's it. You should. 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you on some of these Thursday games what you should do on every single game. But Andy, you mean all that whole list of parlays I have to put in? God forbid you want to take 30 minutes to, win money. What do you do? What do you do in your life? If you're an AHL assistant coach, you make nothing. I know this. So is it really going to hurt you to take 40 minutes to go find the line mates and put them in and click enter? And I got news for you. If you don't want to do that, you don't deserve to win, and that's why you
never had your car.
So on Thursday, I'm going to look at some of these games, and I'm going to tell you what to do. You can do the rest on your own because you don't have to be a genius. I'm taking every single line combination who's on the top power play. Remember, that doesn't have to be just the top line in top power play. It can be any of the 3 lines as long as they're on the top power play. You want to start with the Devils Ottawa, which was a classic ruckus game. 2 members of the Scam 5 that we always used to try to chase ruckus in. Well, on the Devils side, you do 1 point for Jack Hughes, 1 point for Jesper Bratt. They removed Meyer from the top power play. So yes, this does take a little bit of knowledge. So that's all we're going to do there. On the Senators side, we're going to do Stützle and Tkachuk 1 point each. And then a second one, Drake Batherson and Josh Norris 1 point each because they're both on the second line, but on the top power play together. Now let's go to the Blackhawks and the Sharks. 2 bottom feeder teams. I don't give a rat's ass. You're going to do all combinations of these 3 players on one line and 3 players on the other line. That means we're doing Bedard Teravainen, Bedard Foligno, Foligno Teravainen. On the Shark side, we're doing Granlund Toffoli, Granlund Eklund, and Eklund Toffoli. All those combinations. 1 point, 1 point, enter. 1 point, 1 point, enter. And if you want to know how this is going to go in the long run, you're going to win. It's as simple as that. And you want to know how I'm going to have the proof? Because one of the kind people that I named Bobby Spreadsheets on the Patreon, he's going to keep track of all these. He's doing them all. He's got them on a spreadsheet, and that's what the Patreon is all about. It's having a good time, enjoying each other's company, and of course, ripping parlays to the end of time, but also sniffing out ways in unison to be profitable if that is your thing. I really don't care. Like, I really just want to create stuff here that's entertaining. But if you rat bastards are going to complain in the comments as I'm just trying to teach you how to do this the right way, then here's your profitable method. Are you going to do it? Of course not. So I'll just keep going on to some other games. We have Montreal Kings. On the Montreal side, I've given you out Suzuki and Caulfield before. So Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky's also on their line, also on their top power play. That means we're doing Suzuki point, Slavkovsky point, Caulfield point, Slavkovsky point, and then on the other side, the Kings. Hey, remember I told you there was a 38% chance they were going to add Laferriere? They added Laferriere, so we're going to do Kempe, Kopitar, Kopitar, Laferriere, Kempe, Laferriere. All those combinations, they're all going in. Oh my God, it's going to take, well, you know what I'm going to say, and you're going to do that for the entire slate. You and Bobby Spreadsheets are going to be keeping track and winning money. Those are my NHL sniffs. Every single point combination on the entire slate. Go do it. Go do it. And tell me when you're tired and you're done. I'll be doing it. I'll be doing it, and I'm not going to complain. Yeah, but Andy, you have a full-time job outside of this and have to create these videos, edit these videos, and I'll still find time to get them in. And now let's go on to Thursday Night Football between the New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos. Now this is where I'm trying to do winning betting style. I had a point to prove. With hockey, I have nothing to prove. That's like Albert Einstein proving his math to Bill Nye, the science guy. I have nothing to prove to you on that front. In the NFL, there's a lot of people out there. And since I was a hockey guy, I was like, let me show you how to be a profitable bettor in the hardest sport to profit on. 5 weeks out of 6. We're going for 6 out of 7. I hope you guys cut me some slack now because it was ridiculous. We won Thursday Night Football. We won on Sunday, and then we won on Monday again. The only thing that lost on Monday were the pirate parlays. Yet another lesson in there to learn. Straight plays, you win money. You start pirating things together, you can enter some choppy waters. So for this Thursday game, when I was looking, there was really only one thing that stood out to me, and it was the same thing that stood out to me last week, and that is the under on Alvin Kamara rushing yards. This guy, last 2 seasons, one of the most inefficient runners in the NFL. He doesn't break tackles. He doesn't get any extra yards. I mean, look at his body frame. They also have run him to the ground. You think his 29-year-old body is getting better as the season goes on? I'm actually not sure why this rushing total is set to 71. I mean, if he continues to struggle like this, maybe they'll start integrating Kendre Miller. He was activated last week. They're going to need something. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row, and I understand the thought of him getting this massive workload, but he has been doing nothing with it. I'm going with those under 71.5 rushing yards for Alvin Kamara. And then on the other side of the ball, that was a little bit trickier. At first, I was thinking, Bo Nix, he can run for 20 yards on one carry, but they need to kind of be trailing for him to start running like he did last week. You will have Lattimore on Cortland Sutton, so who else is going to be able to get open? And if nobody's open, then he'll tuck the ball and start running. So I was looking at that, but something just didn't feel right. I'm not sure. What if they go up by a lot? Are they really going to still let him run around? And you never know. They could go up by a lot. They are favored in this game after all. So I kind of put that one off to the side. I'm like, maybe I'll include that in the Pirate parlay at the end. One other thing that I noticed, it wasn't just Kamara who's been an inefficient runner. These last 2 seasons, Javonte Williams, everybody since he's been drafted is waiting for Javonte season, SZN. We've been waiting 5 years, we're going to be waiting another 10. It's not coming. Every week, this guy's just running for 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Sean Payton is not willing to wave goodbye to any running backs. He'll do it on a whim, and they just activated Audric Estime last week. He only got 2 carries in the last game, but if you look at those carries, 6 for Javonte, 2 for Audric Estime. Now, they were playing from behind, but if Audric Estime, who has had like 2 of the only quote-unquote dynamic runs, another one of these fake stats that people give you, in his 2 games when he was active, I could see an uptick in his workload, meaning fewer carries for Javonte Williams. Now, I am aware that the Saints have the worst rushing defense ever. We already saw a couple weeks back they were using 3 running backs. Now, Audric Estime's back in there. They drafted him, and there was hype with him in the preseason. I could imagine a 3 running back rotation in this game, which is why I'm going with the under 12.5 rushing attempts for Javonte Williams. And then I'll end you a little Pirate parlay. So the first one, let's just do a little simple. How you doing? The under 12.5 rushing attempts for Javonte Williams. And then let's just get that into plus money by adding the max under on Alvin Kamara's rushing. And if there's anything you particularly like on this slate that's like minus 130, minus 140, and you want to knock that down, this would be my juice reducer is going to be the Kamara under 100 rushing yards. So you take those 2 together, that will be plus money. And then my other one, I'm going with the under on Kamara rushing. Give me the alt over on Bo Nix rushing. Just a little bit down, just a little bit less in case he doesn't get to his 25 or whatever. And then the alt under on Javonte Williams rushing yards. That's all I got. There's nothing else I like. That is what I have for you for both sports on a Thursday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel here. You keep the comments going. I got to try to come up with like a walking stick, like a blind man fly. I got to have some sort of orc reflectors. What do you want me to do? This is what they do. You know, this is what orcs are not born. They're bred. If you ever saw that scene. They are. But anyway, if you want to come join me and Stevie Spreadsheets, or no, not Stevie Spreadsheets, Bobby Spreadsheets, but Stevie Spreadsheets doesn't sound that bad. Am I going to morph him into Stevie Spreadsheets? Come join me and Bobby Spreadsheets on the Patreon. That's what we're doing. We're talking in the chat rooms. We're concocting some things. And now we're even trying to work in unison to show just how profitable using these line mate point props actually can be. And like I said, go check out Josh on Twitter. Sometimes this is 2 nights in a row. He wrote a bunch of them. I'm not writing you that list. I already do enough for you dirty, rotten, scoundrel rat bastards. Take it easy. Have a good one. Hope to see you on the Patreon. If not, I will see you here for another round of NHL Sniffs. And we got a Dave and a Dan coming up soon. So make sure you are subscribed, click the notifications, and I'll see you for those videos. Take it easy.